Let me tell you, well, I'm done. I'm done with the dating pool. I tried it. I tried it once.
Why do I feel like we all go through that moment where we're like, you know what, I'm so over this. Like, I am over everything and every guy. Like, it's ridiculous because the dating pool can get ridiculous and people will come at an all-time audacity and levels of disrespect. So I'm already like, girl, I feel you. I feel you.
And I'm not doing it. Let me tell you what just happened to me. And maybe I'm not mature enough. But y'all tell me. I went on a couple dates with this guy. Very fresh. New. New dates. The dates are all during the week sometimes, sporadically. Communication's very spotty. Um,
So when someone starts like I feel like there's like these telltale signs of like people doing some sketch stuff. And the fact that she's already saying like he would only go out with her on the weekdays, I feel like usually that's because that means your person is home on the weekends. And so guess what? That only time that they're busy enough to not notice you is during the weekdays, right? Shame, shame, shame. And communication is off, which I don't always think that that's a sign, right? Because I'm kind of sporadic with my communication, and so it just really depends on who you are. And I know some males who genuinely are good, not cheating, and they are not good with their communication. So it's not like a warning signal to me, but the weekend thing is always a big signal to me. Like when you're telling me you can only get together on the weekdays, I'm like, but why?
to the point we did have a conversation about that and about intentions. He canceled one of our dates, our scheduled dates, to help a friend. A friend. This friend, it's a girl, of course. Friend's a girl, friend has kids. Okay? Help something.
So I feel like, okay, when someone's like, oh yeah, they're a friend, that's kind of hard for me because I have male friends and I feel like if I needed them, like they would be kind of there the same way that she's saying that this guy was there for his friend. So I don't know. I don't know if that's one of those things where you should be like concerned or not from my perspective, and I'm pretty relaxed. That's not like a big um indicator that there's an issue. To me, if anything, that would be more of like, oh, like this is a friend that he values. So I wouldn't have a problem with him saying like, okay, there's an issue this person's having, they have kids, so now I'm thinking like, oh, the kids are vulnerable. So all of that compounds to like if someone that I felt like I was talking to or trying to start talking to um canceled a date for that reason, in my head I'd be like, oh, that's kind of sweet. So I have a hard time with thinking that's a warning sign.
Happen, husband's out of the country. Husband's out of the country. This was last weekend. Cool. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Hope everything works out. He's calling me, telling me, like, pretty much, I don't want to tell her business, but she was expecting something and now she no longer has it. If you kind of pick up, but I don't want to say.
Okay, so in the event of a miscarriage, I absolutely would hope that he would not utilize that as a time to cheat or whatever. I'm hoping that he did not cheat on his pregnant girlfriend, which it kind of sounds like that's what happened. However, so a few things. She's saying that the husband was off somewhere. You never know. He could have been some type of businessman. He could have been abroad. He could have been in the military. So I don't think like the fact that someone's husband doesn't come home and a friend is checking in and staying the night, especially with something such as a miscarriage where there could be other health implications, is an issue. Um, this body communication is though. Um, so I understand that she wants to like she wanted some explanations as to why she's going over there all the time, but she's also potentially he could be tired because he is taking care of the kids. Like, some people don't communicate exactly what they're doing at that very moment. So like if she's like, well, you're going over there, and well, who's to say that he's not picking up groceries on the way and not getting all these things situated for her? And so, yeah.
Anything, so I'm thinking like, okay, miscarriage or something, whatever. Let it go. This weekend, same shit. He's over there, and he doesn't just go to help. He stays the night, y'all. He stays the night. So this weekend, same thing. He goes over there this weekend to help with the kids and how exhausted he is. Very spotty communication. How exhausted he is. It's Saturday right now, okay? It's Saturday. So I'm all like, so through.
I am cracking up because you can already tell she's already over this whole situation. She's like, the math is not adding up. There's something amiss. Um, and yes, like it's starting to get shadier and shadier over time. It's so funny because she's like, what? I'm not understanding this dynamic. And I think that if he had said like called or something while she was there, or like yeah, like maybe I don't know, did an exchange so that she knew, especially because they were starting to date, it would have been a different arena. But the fact that he's kind of like, yeah, I'm so tired, I'm so exhausted, which he could be doing, taking care of the kids at night or something like that. So who knows? um but I just think it's funny because she's kind of like, this don't sound right.
About the conversation, I'm keeping it real short because I got a gut feeling and I don't ignore my gut feelings. And I was like, and I messaged, I'm like, oh, isn't it your second weekend in a row of helping her? I'm like, where's her husband? Oh, he's out of the country. He's supposed to be coming back Monday or Tuesday.
Again, the staying over and stuff like that would not knock me off. Again, all of this depends on body language and how he's looking, how he's acting, but that would not throw me off at all that he's staying the night. Hopefully it's in separate bedrooms. You would not know, but yeah, so she's just like, she's like, it's escalating more and more. He's not making sense more and more. But here's the thing: when women get like that, it's like some that like when women say like, I just have this gut feeling. I do believe that you should trust that within reason, because some people be going to a whole nother level. But like, I do believe that you just get sense like this, something's not right. I need to go get out of this situation. And I do believe that you should take that into consideration strongly. You know, I know some people get really jealous, or they might get really anxious because they've had, experiences in the past. And in that case, you really have to do a self check. But if this is just beginning and there is just the communication is off, the vibes are off, there's just this random friend. It like, yeah, it's not even that serious. Like she hasn't even built a connection with this guy to even have to deal with all this. So I totally get where she's coming from.
And my gut feeling, it was like pounded. And I'm sitting here, I'm already not messing with this. And it's already a female too. You staying over her house with kids, helping her, all exhausted. And her husband, she's having some emergency. And her husband was out of the country last week and still out of the country. What husband is that? What husband takes his time coming back if there's an emergency? Especially if he knows there's another man in your house taking care of your wife and kids. See, wasn't adding up. And I said it. So I was like, okay. And I was keeping it short. But then I just asked three questions. I was like, I'm not holding shit in. I asked three questions. I said, were you ever intimate or had a relationship with this person? Is she in a relationship or married? Because I wanted to make sure. And then the third question was, are these kids yours? He responds, oh, I already told you I don't have kids. I don't know why you
Okay, so the way that she's like, those questions were solid questions except one. She should have asked if he's ever gotten a woman pregnant, right? Because they are dating, and I wouldn't have stopped reading. I would have wanted to know because that I'm just curious and nosy like that. But like I would have asked like, have you gotten someone pregnant? Because you can have just as much of a connection with someone if you've gotten them pregnant, right? Like, what if that miscarriage was his miscarriage? It may not necessarily mean like she should have either asked the fourth question, like, are any of those kids his? Um, and or have you gotten her pregnant or anyone else pregnant? I think that's just as much of a solid question that you should know than anything because you still have a connection with someone if you've gotten them pregnant, right? You've gone through a certain trauma with them. So definitely take that into consideration when you are someone's kind of dealing with their exes. Um, I don't have a problem with someone dealing with your ex. Like that's a season in your life, and I feel like personally, like once that season is over, sometimes it's just a friendship, and that's all it is. Not sometimes it is a friendship. At least how I feel, it's a friendship. It's a solid friendship, and that's enough, right? So, yeah, but she was not having it at all, y'all. She was like, uh.
keep asking me that? And he's like, 12 years ago, we were in a relationship, but we managed to stay friends. I really stopped reading there. And I said, oh, no, thank you. I don't have the capacity to do these. And there's just certain boundaries. And I'm not crazy.
I think that was quite literally the best response that she could have given. I do not have the capacity to deal with this. Like that was a very mature response that sets boundaries and tells him like she don't deal with BS, right? So I think that was very smart of her to do in this scenario. I do not think it was a good scenario. Like the outcomes would have probably been worse. Like something wasn't right. And so I think I applaud her for like being like, you know what, I'm gonna exit stage left because she's a beautiful girl, not girl, beautiful woman. And she deserves definitely a lot more.
Or immature for thinking that because you got it fucked up if you think that you are going to, like, I don't know what boundaries you think that I have or don't have or what boundaries you lack, but there's no way ever that this would work if you think that you're not even going over there to help. You're not dropping off groceries. You're not stopping in, watching the kids for 2 hours. No, motherfucker. You're over there for days and you're staying the night. That's crazy work. Like, that's not a boundary. Like, guys be fucking crazy because there's no way in a million years.
So I will say this, I'm almost positive she didn't ask that question. She should have asked specifically because guys will not give you a full response. They will say something like, I'm just over at a friend's house, blah, blah. And so for you you should be like, oh yeah, like does you ask like does she need any groceries? So you're taking off the pressure of like trying to get a response, right? Because when men feel like they need to respond to something, that's when they get a little like, oh, I don't, a little pushy, like want to push you off. So like I think when you say it in a way that you're like, oh, you like you're caring almost, which you could be, right? But it's more with the intentions of genuinely asking a question, but putting it in a nicer way. So it puts the person's guard down, right? So, oh, does she need anything? Like, what about groceries and something like that? That would be the time for him to say, oh no, I already got groceries, and then you have your answer there. Does that make sense? But I'm almost positive she's just assuming that he didn't get groceries. He didn't. He's just going over there, and she didn't communicate like wanting to ask those questions or whatever. Yeah.
That I would be okay, or anyone would be okay with me as a female staying over a guy's house, helping him and taking care of his kids, and I was in a relationship with him before, staying the night. Like in that situation right there, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then you know how I know that he knows what's up? Because when I said, oh yeah, I don't have the capacity for this, and I kind of like just said like, I wish you the best, like, but I can't do this. He was like, okay, cool, totally understand. He's like, okay, cool, totally understand. I wish you the best too. I mean it. A motherfucker that responds like that so quickly, he knows.
So she could be right on this. She could be right because, well, it depends. It depends on how she came off, right? If she came off as like very aggressive and combative throughout their exchange, he probably is like good riddance, right? But if if she got the feeling that he really was interested in her somewhat, um it could be that he really was just trying to have like a side piece on the side. And so he's like, I can not, I don't have to deal with all this or whatever. So it could really go both ways depending on her attitude. Her attitude the in the video, I'm almost willing to side with her that he's like, I'm doing my own thing and I'm not trying to mess up anything. And so the easiest thing would be for me to move on or whatever, right? As opposed to her being like aggressive or too aggressive or something like that to the point where he's like, I don't want to deal with this chick or whatever. Um, yeah. And also, I feel like, especially like mature men, something like that, they would have picked up the phone and called. Like, absolutely 100% would have said, hey, listen, because they want you to know that, like, how serious they are. They're not going to go back and forth on a text message because something like that, the exchange can be totally different, right? So, in this case, I do side with her that she probably a dodged a bullet, and he probably was out here trying to do his own thing, and um, it went left because his girlfriend had a miscarriage. I do believe that there was a miscarriage. I do believe that. Um, I don't believe the fact that that is just his friend or whatever. Just based on what she's saying. Like, of course, there's always two sides to a story, but like, just based on what she's saying and this body communication, stuff like that, yeah.
What he doing? I don't know if you in love with that girl, your ex, or if all of it's a lie and like those are your kids or you guys are together or whatever and everything's a lie. I don't know which one it is, but I can't do it. And the fact that he responded so calmly, like, no way. No way. Because a motherfucker that wants you and doesn't want any miscommunication or confusion, calling me real quick. Because no, because now you're prioritizing and you dropping everything, and you're dropping everything for your ex. This isn't just a long, good term friend like you tried to play it out to be. No, it's your ex. You should have led with that. Like, no. Mm-mm.
Well, that was interesting. Guys, I will see you next time. I appreciate you tuning in. This was it was hysterical. I will see you next time. See you. Bye.